I remember late nights, pissy hallways driving me psycho. The money wouldn't come fast enough. We was back and forth down streamline, moving weight was like lipo. The rest of y'all stuck in the rut. Niggas double cross and talk behind your back. See, that's where the knife go. I guess they wasn't fucking with us. Some niggas get the luck of the draw. For others, life is a dice roll, and waiting on faith ain't for us. When you young, you realize that you can't trust the mouth where the pipe go. They tried but couldn't love you enough. Dance music on my neck, where's your water bottle? Diamonds, the light show, looking like the sun in the club. If you re-ing up with us, then your credit score gotta be FICO. I'm talking 850 a bus. See, you really willpower when you make niggas balance on tight ropes. They know they not much for the blood. Have my man shoot your block, I'ma send his ass far as the flight go. Ain't worry about ducking the judge. Keep fronting for your bitches, cause any minute repo might show. You know that shit up in a month. Heard your man was in there singing for his life. They was calling a maestro, cause time that heavy can crush. When you pay a nigga back like it's Lil Wayne whispering, die slow. The last words you hear in the trunk.
You don't know what I know. You ain't seen what I saw. No, you ain't been where I go. With a Fetty so strong, you gotta bag it with one eye closed. My shooter turn you inside out. I heard the feds turned the crib inside out. Drop the roof on you niggas, let the inside out. Fresh Prince jacket, boy, I cook them to the inside out.
Go get a Glock 27, fit snug in the waistline. Both sticks came with the drum. I was 5'6", shoulder with a chip. Wish a nigga to take mine. Index yanked till it's numb. Used to call me Windex, cause this thing I spray gon' make you change minds. I done seen Hercules run. We was powerlifting 2.2s. Nah, we ain't throw gang signs. My brick walk was second to none. I would have them take a number like DMV. That was the baseline. Check out or register one. Miami niggas like Big Perm, cause they numbers was face on. Cuban showed me nothing but love. When it come down to it, every string of bell just needs an Avon who won't sweep it under the rug. On the road with a load near the brake line, I knew where to place mine. I don't keep the gun in the glove. Hit the turnpike with the running lights that be on in the daytime. Cause K9 sniff out a crumb. Hands 3 and 9 on the wheel as I'm crossing the state line. Dumb diddy dumb. Survival of the fittest. You either get acquitted or FaceTime. I done had an infamous run. My story gon' hit the first 48, then it's on Dateline. Cause this really shit I done.
You don't know what I know. You ain't seen what I saw. No, you ain't been where I go. With a Fetty so strong, you gotta bag it with one eye closed. My shooter turn you inside out. I heard the feds turned the crib inside out. Drop the roof on you niggas, let the inside out. Fresh Prince jacket, boy, I cook them to the inside out.
It's always the loud mouths that can't count. The right price, I put the AR in the safe mouth. Yeah. Talk about it. Bring all the watches and the chains out. Heat come, I'm De Niro, I got the safe house.
This is culturally inappropriate.
Surrounded by niggas with tears that don't drip. Talk about that it. Ain't the ghost that you appear to go get. Finally got the courage, but you still a whole bitch. The rest of y'all on my 6 year ago shit. Every move intentional, the links is atypical. Like baseball and DR. You know what the stick will do.
This is culturally inappropriate.
We got the drop on your shadow. You know we can get to you. The pen to express my dreams and expertise in text I squeeze. Coke spots all over like leprosy. It's a dark spirit tucked behind the flesh you see. Got every single word of the hex I need. The death I breathe, the death I see. Looks so good on you. The coffin wood on you. Closed casket cause I'm only seeking wolves on you. Berlinetta horsepower, put them hooves on you. Blow $500,000 LV leather goods on you. We've been doing this for eons. While you thirsty trying to figure out who you can spill a tea on. I'm in coffee fields, making meals. You get the chills cause this shit is real. Now let me rip it, both tie your surprise. The feeling that you get when you realize it was really you that died and we are so alive. Conspiracy theory, you can't believe it's us. Soul leave your body like a fentanyl rush.
Dead on your back with your eyes looking up chandeliers.
This is culturally inappropriate.
Single-handedly boosted rap to its truest place. Fuck speaking candidly, I alone did rejuvenate hip-hop into its newest place. Made it cool for Grammy-nominated LPs from previous generation MCs. And that rings loud and reverberates. It's not fair to them, I'm thinking I deserve the hate. Bring it, only thing you killing is precious time. Used to clash with Decepticons, I was them deaf and blind. So cancel me before I unleash the Panther me. The Pantheon is a family, we some upstanding G's. The difference between regular spitters and bosses, my principles are. You need a glimpse of me from satellites in orbit. Take sabbaticals on avenues, break AKs on vacays when we paddle canoes. Follow the leader, Terminator, hasta la vista, man of the year, Nasir, rockin' chandeliers.
All right. Welcome. Hey, what's going on, man? I'm back. I hope everybody had a very good week. I had a very good weekend. Listen, I apologize for the confusion yesterday. Brother was a little saucy, man. You know, his brothers at the cookout. You know, a little on that brown, you know. Like, I'm gula tonight. No. But we here live in a little color, man. You know, giving shouts out to those who have made themselves known, and those of you that are hanging out, please like, share, subscribe, whatever they say on these YouTube streets. We are back, man. NFL season is gearing up. Got some WNBA news, and of course, I like to talk about my favorite reality show, the Trump administration. But give shouts out to those who have dropped down and up here. Beautiful, how you doing? Oh. How you doing, beautiful? Miss, how you doing, Miss Lady? How you doing? Oh shit, you know, early. What's going on, good brother? What's going on? Yeah, is that my ears? Are you up there? Listen, I have got me a Newmark. You know, this is I'm venturing into, you know, it's part of the touch grass stuff we like to do. I got me a Newmark DJ thing. I ordered off of Amazon, and you know, I wanted to kind of play around with that. Listen, I've dabbled in it, you know, throughout the years, but never really kind of got into it. I just like this, hey, brother, pick up another hobby. But yeah, got that on the way. All right, so let's kind of get into it. This is my favorite time of the year. Of course, you know, NFL season start. Training camp is kicked off for most of the teams. A lot of teams will everybody should be in camp by the end of the week. So you know, this is real now. You know, you had the OTAs, you had the voluntary mini camps, rookie camps, and all that kind of stuff. But training camp is, you know, where we're getting ready. Preseason will be starting in about 2 weeks. I want to say the first game is around first weekend in August. So about 2 weeks. And we'll be starting preseason. Of course, the NFL season kicks off, and we're here to break it down, the latest and greatest. What we're going to do here, I'm going to kind of break down some of my top 5 questions head into the NFL season. And of course, you know, I like to do what's going on, Tricks. Touch grass. What's going on, good brother, man? I hope all is well with you. But yeah, you know what we like to do. What we'll do is an AFC breakdown. I kind of give you a division team by team, kind of my thoughts and predictions for the upcoming season. Then we'll do the NFC, and of course, you guys know I like to give my Super Bowl picks. And you know, most of the time I'm pretty spot on. What I want to do a little bit different this year. You know, kind of have I want to keep a running log. So, you know, if you're an avid listener of the show, and if you're over here, you probably are, or a hater. But, you know, I want to keep a track this year. I'm going to have a little contest this year. I want to keep a track of everybody's Super Bowl picks. And I'll keep track of that. So right before the season starts, you know, that'll be like the deadline before kickoff or beginning of the season. You know, of course, it's a Thursday night game. And we'll kind of, you know, keep track of that. And winner at the end of the year, we'll get a a prize. So we'll get a prize. I'm not going to say what it is, but we'll get a prize at the end of the year. So go ahead, start doing. Oh yeah, Miss Merv, come on, really, really. And we're gonna talk about your Eagles, of course. Of course, I hate the Eagles offline, but when I'm up here doing my analyst stuff. um I will give credit where credit is due, so we'll be talking about your Eagles a little bit tonight, but of course once the camera goes off, the live stops, and still fuck the Eagles. But while I'm up here, I gotta do that my analyst thing and get it in. So but yeah, have your Super Bowl picks ready. Of course, we're gonna get into some other stuff. If you listen to the show, how I kind of deviate once I get the sports stuff out of the way. Get that material out of the way, get those talking points out of the way, and we'll kind of dive into some other stuff and some other the ladies will be getting some focus tonight. Ladies will be getting some energy tonight. We'll be talking about what's going on with the WNBA, the recent I guess you can call it silent but not so silent protests during WNBA All-Star weekend. And of course, got a little bit of boxing news I thought would be kind of interesting. I'm going for the Giants. Beautiful. I know you bullshit. Only Giants fan I know that actually proclaim it online that I know of is a good brother of a certain age. And he does it. And when I say quietly, and I mean quietly, he only comes around after a Giants win. And if you're looking at their roster and their prospects for the upcoming season, it won't be too many times he'll pop out and give the Giants some love. But anyway, let's kind of get into the show. Of course, I'm getting all my admin stuff out of the way, as my executive producer likes to tell me to do. Make sure I get all of that stuff out of the way before I get into the other stuff. Tuesday we'll be doing a show. For those that know, Tuesday we're gonna be doing another show over there. I had a lot of fun. For those of you that kind of tuned in for that show, we had a lot of fun. Very, very, just very fun time celebrating the music and all of that kind of good stuff. And Tuesday we'll be doing another show. We'll be doing another show on Tuesday. I gotta get it out for my straw hats. I gotta get that stuff. I definitely gotta cover that because that is really blowing up over there. And of course, we're gonna get into some other musical stuff. Listen, if you listen to Tuesday's show, I told you, I said Nas wanted some smoke. Cass wasn't peeping it. You thought Jim Jones was gonna get an easy ride, but we'll talk about that more on Tuesday. Let's get into the material here that we got to cover tonight. Thank y'all for joining me, and let's kind of get into the first biggest question of the upcoming NFL season. And it's always the first question for every upcoming NFL season: can the previous champion repeat? That is always where you start from the top and kind of work your way down. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles coming off a very dominant Super Bowl performance. I will say this, and we'll kind of get into this more as we do a team by team breakdown as we lead up until our kickoff for the season. Philadelphia is in, and I want to say perfect because no team is in perfect position. Every team starts off with the same prospects every year, but Philadelphia, how their team is kind of structured, and when you look at the contract situations and you look at the additions and some of the losses that they had, especially on the defensive side of the ball, Philadelphia is primed. I'm gonna say this, and trust me, as a Cowboys fan, it hurts my heart to say this. But you can't go into this upcoming season and really feel like any team is a favorite over the Eagles. And this is, typically, the Super Bowl champion comes in, they've had, some losses, as far as guys leaving due for salary cap reasons. And whatnot, but Philadelphia, how they've kind of structured their contract, and give credit to Howie Roseman. I have profusely, given him credit over the years, especially on this show with the job that he's done as the GM, with not only bringing in talent, making the right trades, making the right signings, and doing very well in the draft. Howie Roseman says this team set up not only to compete for a Super Bowl this year, be looked at in my eyes as the favorite going into this upcoming season, but Howie Roseman has kind of set this team up to have a championship-ish window. I'm gonna say this, a championship-ish window. Oh, let me close this out. Mess around and really start DJing. Oh God, God forbid. Really have a championship windows for about the next 3 years. I say the next 3 years is really when their window is wide open for the Philadelphia Eagles. And when you look at some of the other question marks going into this upcoming season in regards to other teams, other possible contenders, especially in the NFC, Philadelphia is in prime position to repeat this upcoming season. When you look at, re-signing Saquon Barkley, restructuring his deal, getting him a little bit more paper for the long term. Of course, you have Jalen Hurts locked up. Most of the key contributors for this team is locked up to nice size contracts. And I would say the defense didn't take as big of a hit as I thought it would. The defense had a lot of guys that was potential free agents. And Philadelphia did a very good job navigating that. Some of those guys did leave, do a free agents. Like I said, we'll get into that. Barty, the serious injury, we should have another great season. Yeah, Miss Murphy, I agree. And that's what, Philadelphia is in prime position, and how you got to give credit to Howie Roseman. You got to give credit for Howie Roseman with the job that he's done. But the defense, was going into this off season, with the guys being free agents, especially along that defensive line. When Philadelphia did a adequate enough job with compensating for the losses, and I think they'll still be able to have a very good unit, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And that's where they made the most improvements last season. I'm looking at Philadelphia's defense to not necessarily be as dominant as they were last year. I think they will be right up there, of course, top 10 defense, and it's going to put Philadelphia in prime position to repeat. They're my favorite right now. I'm not giving my Super Bowl picks right now, but they're my favorite going into training camp season. I'm kind of look and see where guys are at, because Super Bowl hangover is a real thing. That is one thing that is hard to do, especially in the NFL, is for a team to go out there and repeat, because you have things like weird injuries and that kind of stuff kind of happens. The free agent you let go was the guy that kind of held things down, and in a way you was never able to replace it. So the defensive side of the ball is definitely an area I'm looking at very closely with Philadelphia for this upcoming season. But you can't look at Philadelphia and you look at the other contenders around them and not feel like Philadelphia is the favorite going into this upcoming season. So don't be surprised if trust me, it hurts my soul to say this, but don't be surprised if Philadelphia is my Super Bowl pick. But we're not there yet. Of course, I'm still Cowboys for life and all of that good stuff, but we're not there just yet. Another off-season storyline that I'm watching very closely going into this upcoming season is the situation out there in Pittsburgh. Of course, you have Mike Tomlin, the uncertainty, as far as his coaching future, especially after this next season. He's not really committed to a long term. So we could be looking at a regime change in the very near future for Pittsburgh. But I'm looking at the situation with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers comes in off a very I would say there's a very rough exit from Green Bay, a very rough exit from the Jets, very publicized exits from both of those franchises. Aaron Rodgers had adequate season last year in New York. You can put blame in a lot of places, but Aaron Rodgers was just not the Aaron Rodgers that you were traditionally used to doing his this is not Aaron Rodgers from 5 years ago. Let's just put it like that. He didn't play horrible, but it didn't play to the level and the expectations that you would think of an Aaron Rodgers. And that's as good as your record is and as good as your resume is, sometimes it turns out to be your detriment in the end, because people are expecting that same level of production and play throughout. He didn't play like that last year, and led to him being please don't pick him. I want them to win. Listen, Ms. Murph, and my executive producer, shout out to the good sister Gator girl, who's also, hopefully touching grass. She hates when I pick, especially a team that she's going for, because I don't know, this when I pick their team has a horrible season, and I don't know if I could actually come on the air and pick Philadelphia in good conscience. But then again, if I am the hex that ruins an Eagles season and it leads to a Cowboys championship, trust me, I will pick you guys every day of the week. Aaron Rodgers could have retired. He could have retired instead of going to the Jets. He went to the Jets, got money, and that kind of spiraled out of control, led to head coaching changes there. It was just complete disarray with him going to the Jets. It was complete disarray with him going to the Jets. Nice finds himself in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a franchise that is known for, if Pittsburgh is not known for anything else, and that is stability. This is a franchise that doesn't often change head coaches. If I'm not mistaken, they've had three head coaches, and maybe four if you go way, way, way back. But I think three of note. Three head coaches. Pittsburgh is a franchise that gets a hold of a head coach, a good head coach, and they keep him. When you look at Mike Tomlin's record, has not had a losing season, and God knows how long. And Pittsburgh is people are going to be watching the Aaron Rodgers situation, the dynamic between him and Mike Tomlin. Aaron Rodgers has a very, for lack of better terms, has a very dominating presence in regards to an effect on the locker room, and that is not something that is traditionally dealt with in Pittsburgh. If you look at Pittsburgh, when you become an off-field distraction and it's the return is not there, they'll get rid of you. Look at Le'Veon Bell. You look at Antonio Brown. Look at this past off season. They got rid of George Pickens. And you become too much of a head case. You draw too much attention to yourself. Pittsburgh has got that old school kind of mentality. Hey, you come here to play hard in that kind of way, much like the Patriots used to do under Bill Belichick. And you bring in Aaron Rodgers. I'm gonna be honest with you. The question I have is he really a upgrade over what you had last season? You had Justin Fields, who was productive, which led to him getting a contract in New York. Russell Wilson didn't play spectacularly well when he got healthy and became the starting quarterback in Pittsburgh. But if you look at the production, it was very similar to what you got from Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers is going to be looked into coming in to raise the level of play. And when you look at the rest of the AFC, Pittsburgh, I don't know. I don't, like I said, we'll kind of get that breakdown in more and more detail, but that is a question mark for Pittsburgh. The impact and effect of Aaron Rodgers is, this team starts out slow, and Aaron Rodgers is playing like he was playing for a lot of stretches with the Jets. They're going to be looking at, why these guys didn't, with an opportunity to draft we'll talk about Shedeur Sanders. It's definitely another question, but we'll get into him in just a second. Why this team didn't draft a quarterback. Granted, this was not I guess you can call it a quarterback rich draft this past season, but you moved off Justin Fields, who I liked, and still like since he got drafted way back with the Bears. You moved off of him. You moved off of Russell Wilson, and you kind of played the waiting game and the dating game with Aaron Rodgers. So, the expectations are going to be for him to deliver. He's not walking into a situation where Pittsburgh is thinking, we're trying to push to make the playoffs. This is a team that's traditionally known success with or without Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers is going to be looked. There's going to be that pressure on him to push this team into that upper echelon of the AFC. You have that, that upper echelon of the AFC that Pittsburgh has not been able to crack. Granted, they were a playoff team, but this is not Pittsburgh was not looked at as a team that it was a serious contender or a challenger to the crown of the AFC. For the past 3 to 4 years, it's been Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore. Pittsburgh has an opportunity with the defense, If they're healthy, of course, there's a lot of ifs when you talk about football, but if the defense plays at a level they're capable of playing at, Aaron Rodgers is, I think he needs to up his play. We could be talking about Pittsburgh in a conversation. Think about it. They was leading the division for a long stretch of the season last year. And that was with, what you would consider subpar quarterback play from Russell and Justin. If Aaron Rodgers is able to elevate, and they did bring in a weapon, they did trade, got rid of George Pickens, brought in the upgrade DK Metcalf. We'll see how that marriage works in Pittsburgh. But this is a team that is traditionally, plays winning football, and Aaron Rodgers is going to be looked at as pushing this team into the upper echelon. We'll see if that happens. We'll see if that happens. I spoke about Shedeur Sanders just a second ago. Cleveland, for whatever reason, is going to have a spotlight on them. Listen, I don't think Cleveland's going to be very good this upcoming season. I ain't going to hold you to it. Yes, you still have Myles Garrett. Still have some pieces on the defensive side of the ball. Still have a couple weapons on the offensive side of the ball, but the quarterback position is going to be looked at very, very, very closely. It's going to be up under the eye and on the radar of a lot of people when you look at not only the Deshaun Watson's situation, him battling back from injury. Will he make it back to the lineup? Is his career officially over in Cleveland? Listen, he's got the guaranteed money. I don't know how you sit the guy if he's making that kind of money and the team is bad. But then, Cleveland not only drafted one rookie quarterback, drafted two. And according to reports from OTAs and rookie minicamp, both quarterbacks look good. Nothing against Dylan Gabriel. You're just in the situation right now. He's looked at as the number 3 quarterback. I think Shedeur has moved up to, quote unquote, the number 4, but the quarterback situation in Cleveland is definitely going to be monitored. How long, if Joe Flacco, falls off of a cliff, if, Dylan Gabriel does he get a shot? And if he plays bad, does Shedeur Sanders get a shot? Like, the quarterback situation in Cleveland is definitely one to be watching this upcoming season. Listen, I don't think Cleveland's going to be any good. 4th best team in the division, with three other teams could possibly be in the playoffs. But I'm closely watching, especially training camp, because you hear from rookie minicamp, you hear from OTAs, depending on the reporter you listen to and the news outlet that you're listening to. They would have you thinking Shedeur Sanders is lighted up. They would have you thinking Dylan Gabriel is lighted up. So I'm curious to see what that looks like. Reports say Shedeur Sanders is well received by the locker room, but hey, that's just reports. We got to see what you look like out there on the field. Play. Will Shedeur Sanders get a shot? That's something else. Nothing against Dylan Gabriel. I think he's going to be a suitable quarterback in the league. Might turn out to be the next Drew Brees. You never know. With rookies. But Shedeur Sanders, with the attention that he's going to draw, Cleveland is definitely going to be one of the storylines going throughout the season, especially the quarterback position. And I don't think it's a question of if. I think it's a question of when. If you look at the prospects, I think if Cleveland starts, let's say the first 8 games, they're like 2-6. You might as well go to one of the rookies now. Which rookie will you go to? I don't know. It all depends on the preference of the coach. Like you said, you hear high reports on Shedeur, you hear high reports on Dylan Gabriel. We'll see. But I'll definitely be watching the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation. And see how that kind of plays out throughout the year. I think it's not a question of if. I think it's a question of when. I think a rookie will be starting for them at some point during this season. I mean, it just makes the most sense. Be honest with you. Kind of see what you drafted both of the guys. Let's see what you have there. If no other reason, I will be encouraging the young players to get up on the field because, if Dylan Gabriel turns out to, be pretty good, you have something there. If Shedeur Sanders turns out to be something pretty good, but you have something there. Let's say they go out there and they have, this team is 2-6, 2-7. Dylan Gabriel gets some burn. He gets about 3 games. He looks okay. When you give Shedeur, the season is lost at this point. You give Shedeur Sanders some burn. He looks okay. you might have something there, Cleveland, in regards to trade. You might have some trade value for a team that's looking for a young quarterback, or inexpensive. You're not going to get a first round pick. Listen, you're not getting a first round pick for either one of these guys. Fifth, maybe. You might push it to a fourth if they're serious about moving on from either one of these rookies. But I'm watching the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation very, 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 very closely. Another number 4 storyline for me going into this upcoming season is the Chiefs' dominance over the AFC. Is the Chiefs' dominance over the AFC coming to an end? When you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, who have been dominating the AFC for the last 5 years, have dominated the AFC West for God knows how long, has the rest of the AFC finally caught up to Kansas City? Kansas City, lack for better terms, had a very good record last year, ended up in the Super Bowl, got dominated while in the Super Bowl. But anybody that watched the Chiefs last year, no, this was not nobody looked at the Chiefs as being a juggernaut of a team. This is a team that kind of took a step back, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Patrick Mahomes did not have the best season. Do I think he bounced back? He's capable of bouncing back, but when you look at the situation as far as the wide receiver position, a lot of uncertainty there. This could be Travis Kelce last season. Did the offense get any better this past offseason? I would say no, but maybe those Chiefs fans out there that disagree with what I'm saying. But Kansas City has long had control of the AFC. All roads to the Super Bowl have had to go through Kansas City, and this may be the year. This upcoming season may be the year in which that string kind of ends. I think Buffalo has made strides to get better. Of course, Baltimore would definitely be in the mix. Cincinnati offensively could challenge, but look at their own division. I think the Chargers will be a lot better. I think the Broncos will be a lot better. I think with some of the moves that the Raiders made, I don't see them challenging for the division. But I think this is some of the moves they made are going to make them a lot better. It's going to be a lot tougher. And it was a slog last year watching the Chiefs, grind out game after game after game, even against teams that you would think they would blow out, and it was a far superior team. This team just never looked like it got it going, but it was able to grind out wins. Give credit to that defense, but can that defense duplicate the production that they got last year? I don't know. I look at Kansas City. If out of the past 5 years, this has got to be the weakest they look to me. And going into a season, of course, if you pick the Chiefs to come out of the AFC, I ain't mad at you. It's cool if you're a Chiefs fan. I ain't mad at you. This is a team that was in the Super Bowl last year, has rings under their belt. If you're picking them, I'm not mad at you, but I'm closely watching their situation and see if are they going to be able to play some of the production. You got the Rashee Rice situation kind of going on. Did they do enough to improve this offense? Because the offense was kind of the part that was kind of clunky last year for this team. Have they smoothed it out enough for Patrick Mahomes to operate at the level, the MVP level that he's more than capable of operating at? And looking at the rest of the AFC, have they finally caught up? Have they finally caught up? I believe so, but we'll kind of get into that more as we do detailed team by team breakdowns. Make sure you stay tuned in for those shows as we get geared up for the upcoming season. And the last storyline I have going into training camp is who is going to be that surprise team. I'll get more into that as I do my conference breakdowns a little bit later on in the coming weeks. But it's always a team that surprises. It's always a team that kind of comes out of nowhere. Last year, you look at the Washington Commanders with their situation. We have a rookie quarterback, have a new head coach. They come out of nowhere. Jayden Daniels explodes on the scene, plays at a fantastic level, wins Rookie of the Year. and nobody had Washington, making it all the way to I want to say, yeah, they made it all. What's going on, brother? Made it all the way to the title game. Nobody had picked the Commanders going into the season to play at the level that they played at. And that's all, like I said, that's just the beauty in the parity of the NFL. Like every team, regardless of what I'm saying up here on the microphone, every team goes into the upcoming season hopeful, feeling like they have a chance because all it takes is a player here, a move there, a change of coaches, a change of philosophy, and your team could be right there in the playoff hunt. And look at the Washington Commanders. I don't think anybody had them, let alone making the playoffs, but making it deep as a run as they did in the playoffs. I don't think anybody had Jay Daniels playing at the level that he's playing at. It's already conversation right now that he may be, and I'm not, participating in that conversation. He may already be a top 5 quarterback in the league. I'm not going to go as far as say that, but I think he did. He's definitely put himself in the conversation to, be talked about as a top 10, especially with the rookie season that he had. You look at some of the additions that the Commanders made this offseason. Could they be pushing for not only the division crown, but be pushing for the crown as far as the NFC is concerned? Who knows? But that is the beauty of the NFL. It's always that one team that kind of comes out of nowhere that nobody was kind of looking at to be in that position as far as being a playoff team. Teams I'm kind of looking at this upcoming season. I'm looking at what they got going on out there in Arizona. That could be a sneaker pick. We'll see Cincinnati, with them locking up their offensive guys, and still questions on the defensive side. But Cincinnati is a team that could definitely be pushing for the playoffs. Listen, this is the beauty of the NFL. This is the beauty of the NFL. You never know. And the Atlanta Falcons, could we be talking about them being in that NFC Championship type picture if Michael Penix Jr. Takes the next step in his progression after a very good rookie year for him? I mean, this is the beauty of the NFL. Any team has even my. And I try not to talk about them as much as I would want to, but even my Cowboys, hey, it's if this works out, if Dak stays healthy, if this, every team has that, that wish factor, and that's part of the beauty of the NFL. Of course, you have your favorites, but every team comes in with a shot because the margin of error is so close. In the NFL, you could be looked at as a favorite, this particular unit, special teams doesn't play well. Offensive line has issues, and we're having a completely different conversation. The fact that's what. Listen, Triggs. Listen, if you really look, and I know some Falcons fans are out there. Listen, if you really look at Penix Jr., if he's able to kind of take that next leap in his progression, and when you look at some of the pieces that he has around him in Atlanta. And Grant, listen, Atlanta plays in a bad division. Outside of Tampa Bay, nobody's looking at Carolina. Carolina kind of came on last year late. Nobody's really looking at the Saints like that. Atlanta, I mean, I can make listen, you know me. I can make an argument for a lot of shit. I could make an argument where Atlanta not only wins the division, I could make an argument and have you thinking that the Falcons could be pushing for a possible NFC Championship game-ish position. When you really kind of look at the landscape, we'll hold back. Listen, I hear you. I hear you. But I'm this like I said, this is part of the beauty of talking about football before the season starts. Then of course reality kind of sets in as the season kind of goes. But I think Detroit could be taking a step back. You look at Minnesota, they could be taking a step back. You don't know what you're getting with JJ McCarthy. Green Bay, where are they kind of at? This is kind of Green Bay was the kind of a team that didn't play well against winning teams. I mean, you look at the NFC West, and the NFC West for me is wide open. Is wide open this year, but it's none of those teams. Right now, give me the feel that they're going to be dominant outside of the Eagles. I would say this outside of the Eagles and probably Detroit. I would say the two teams I'm really most confident in going into this upcoming season with the NFC. You could make the argument, well, Atlanta's definitely in the mix for a possible spot in, for the best record in the NFC. I'm just saying, I like what I saw from Penix Jr. last year. I like some of the additions that they made. Bringing in James Pierce, rookie. I think he's going to be very, very good if he's allowed to kind of do his thing. But I like some of the pieces that Atlanta kind of put together. But like I said, that's the beauty of the NFL, because I can get up here and make an argument for a lot of teams. If things kind of break their way, if we see improve. Like, listen, Carolina, Bryce Young, we was talking about him possibly being out the door. And he played very well the second half of the season once he got back into the starting lineup, but Atlanta could be in the mix. Atlanta could be in the mix. I'm just saying. But we'll get into that in the upcoming weeks as we break down AFC, NFC. Of course, I give my Super Bowl picks. And if you're coming in late to the show, we will be having a contest this season, kind of make it a little bit more fun, not just me up here having all the fun. We're going to do, we're going to have, you're going to have the opportunity. We'll probably do it. I'm probably going to do, I might do NFC, I'll probably do NFC first, AFC, and then like at the end of the AFC show, I'm gonna give my Super Bowl picks. I'm gonna try to get my Super Bowl picks, and definitely before the season starts. But we'll definitely do a segment where we kind of put you drop your Super Bowl picks. You can either drop it in the chat, drop it in the comments, or whatever. However you reach me, and we'll kind of do that. And the winner at the end of the year will definitely get a prize. I'm not going to say what, but definitely get a prize for winning. I've already been told don't pick the Eagles by Miss Murph. I'm pretty sure if you thought I was going to pick your team, you're probably thinking, no, don't pick my team. You are horrible. You are bad luck. Anyway, yeah. So we'll do that at some point in the very near future. But it's NFL season. I'm back. We're live and in living color. Even though I was off touching grass, that brief lull, and my sports fans know what I'm talking about. That brief lull. Well, I already know lost. Come on, beautiful. Come on. You said Giants. I can't believe you said that out loud. Trust me, I'm gonna pick the Giants. I don't know who I'm picking. I'm gonna be honest with you. And that's of course, I'm just saying that online. I don't know who I'm picking. Offline, of course, I'm ride with my boys. But online, I don't know who I'm picking. To be honest with you, because I think it's some flaws with a lot of these teams. Even if they're considered favorites, I think it's stuff you can kind of nitpick at, and see cracks in the arm. No team is perfect. It's always about who's the best team that's ready to handle the challenge of the upcoming season. But we'll see. We'll kind of get into all of that for sure. Most definitely. But this is, listen, for my sports fans, y'all know, man, like the end of the NBA season and like the beginning of, like, I would say even training camp. It's kind of like that lull. Like, nothing against baseball. I'm a fan of the game. Just I can't sit there and be motivated to cover all of those games as long as the baseball season is. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Not sorry. So that end of the NBA season, then that beginning of the NFL season, that's kind of like, the lull for me is like vacation time, and I took my time off and I'm back, and we're gonna do what we normally do, each and every week. I'm gonna break down that shit is too low. Beautiful 162 games plus playoffs. I want to say baseball starts March, April. And them cats don't close up until October, and then they still in the news around December for the winter meetings, and then they're right back out. But it's too much to there's too many games. I think that for me for baseball, like it's too many games to like kind of judge the ebb and flow, because they might be on a 5-game winning streak this week, and you think, yeah, the team's turning around. The next show I'm doing, they've lost the last 4, and somebody's blown out their knee or something, or pitchers, got arm surgery coming up. It's just too much going on with baseball, but love it when I get a chance to enjoy it. If you've never been to a baseball game live, that is a very nice experience. I'm not a big fan of the heat. I'm gonna be honest with you, not a big fan of the heat, but I do like to catch me at least one game a year. I try to go to do at least one sporting event for each of the major sports as I can a year. I'm thinking now. Let me say that out too loud. Just keep that to myself. But yeah. So that lull between basketball and football, just kind of fill it up with other stuff. But hey, we back. We'll be breaking down the latest and greatest each and every week. In regards to the NFL, of course, any other sports news that kind of comes across my waiver wire, we'll kind of get into that. And speaking of coming across, fell asleep on the other side. Beautiful. They have tried different things to kind of speed up the game. They've tried different things to kind of make the game a little bit more entertaining. I do like, I guess you can call it the pitch clock, where games are not dragging out. But baseball is a game of moments, and that's to the casual, I would say casual sports fan, it's not very. If you're not a baseball fan, it's not a very entertaining experience to see. Because with football, from snap to snap is action. It's no outside of a timeout or end of a quarter is constant action. Constant action. Same thing with the NBA. They're up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's visually it's engaging. Baseball is a little bit different. Baseball is a little bit different. It's a little bit. I'm not saying this is more so a thinking man's game, because all sports is thinking. But when you're watching baseball, we're talking about pitch counts, and a casual fan might not understand why this guy is getting walked. Or intentionally walked, or that kind of stuff. What is trying to imagine trying to Mets fan here, by the way. I'm Mets. Well, good luck to you Mets fans, but try to just imagine trying to explain to the fan that doesn't know baseball, the ins and outs, pitch runners and all of that kind of stuff, and defensive switching, and they just don't understand some of that stuff. Controlling a players, teams being monitoring a pitcher's pitch count of what that is. Like, you don't want to be, in the 4th inning and your pitcher's up to like 80 pitches, because even though he may not have given up a run, that's a lot of wear and tear on his arm. Like, so it's a little different. And for me, it's not enough. It's not entertaining enough for me to cover. But I have nothing against watching a baseball game, or going to a game. It's pitch to pitch a lot of times. Yeah, I mean, it's you may be watching the game and the pitchers are dueling, or you may be watching a game where the pitchers are completely off, and guys are getting hits left and right. So you never know what you're getting with baseball. That's kind of shooting out all out. I'm not listen. This is the analyst in me, beautiful. This is the analyst in me. Like, you New York teams, go Mets, go Yankees, go Knicks, go Giants, go Jets. I wish you guys, all the best. It's just, reality kind of sets in, and I can only show so much love to you, because a lot of your teams are just they're okay. They're okay. I'm just they're okay. Giants fans, might be a long season for you guys, but then again, it might not. Early reports say that your rookie quarterback, he's looking okay. Will he, make it to the field? I don't know. I can make the argument. Now I won't, but I could. I could make the argument that the Giants could be a fringe, keyword being fringe, playoff team. They could be the next Commanders. Maybe they could be the surprise team for this upcoming season. Your starting quarterback situation is a little bit more solidified than it was last year before you got rid of Daniel Jones. I'm just saying, but I won't make that argument. At least the Knicks had a good season. Yeah, Miss Melissa, the Knicks had a very good season. Outside of that, it hasn't been really a whole lot to cheer for. Maybe your baseball teams have played pretty well. Listen, I'm not even keeping up with the wins and losses in baseball. I don't listen. Me personally, I don't give a damn about baseball as far as like who's doing what and who's producing what and who's having what kind of season until we get to late August, September when we talking about money time for that push for the pennant. Outside of that, I couldn't be bothered. I couldn't tell you who's hitting 300 or not. Couldn't tell you. I'm just saying, not with. Well, Miss Murphy, he didn't play horrible in Pittsburgh. He didn't play horrible in Pittsburgh. Just Russ. I mean, listen. If you look at what the Giants do have, listen, the Giants have some weapons. I think Malik Neighbors is ready to take that next step. In his evolution after a very good rookie year. I like Wan'Dale Robinson. It's kind of the number 2 slot receiver. I like the running back Tracy. Offensive line, I think may, that's kind of like the question mark with the offense. The question mark is, can they play a little bit better? What is this team going to look like defensively? You add in Abdul Carter to that pass rush. I think does Brian Burns continue to play at a high level? We have Thibodeau on. I think Thibodeau still. Yeah, I think Thibodeau on the outside. Like, what does that pass rush kind of look like? This could be a team that surprises. Wilson is turning into a journeyman. I think this, but that's cool. I think he's embraced that role, Ms. Murphy's being a journeyman. And if all else fails, you have the rookie you can go to. You can have Winston, who you can go to. But I think Russ is like Russ is not going to light up the world like he was in his Seahawk glory days. But I think Russ is adequate enough. He doesn't really turn the ball over that much. He still has potential to hit you with the big play or not. But the Giants might have a little something going on. Like I said, I like some of the pieces that they have especially on the offensive side of the ball, and some of the pieces they have on the defensive side of the ball. Giants could be, in that conversation. This is the analyst in me. Once the microphone goes off and the live is over, it's gonna be fuck the Giants. Much like it is gonna be fuck the Eagles. But I can make an argument for the Giants. Borderline pushing for a playoff spot. When you look at the landscape of the NFC, outside of Philadelphia, and I would say maybe Detroit, who is like cash money a lock for the playoffs. I mean, the Giants have a outside shot, and things kind of break their way. I'm just saying. Yeah, they had a front. They listen. They added some pieces to make them listen, brother. I am nothing but fair when the mic is on. I'm nothing but fair. Of course, when the mic's off, it's fuck y'all all day long. I hope everybody loses except my team. But I am fair. I like some of the pieces you have in New York. I mean, but it's a lot of ifs. It's more ifs than anything. But I can make an argument that the Giants could be a fringe playoff team. Like, making the playoffs in the NFC is probably let's keep it a buck. It's probably a lot easier than making it in the AFC. 9 wins may get you in the playoffs in the NFC. I think Philadelphia is in there. What does Minnesota look like? Moving off of Sam Darnold, bringing in JJ McCarthy, which is basically going to be his rookie year. Even though it's technically his second, it's going to be his rookie year. He hasn't We haven't seen him on the field. We haven't seen him in live action. Does Chicago take the next step? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? And that's the beauty of the NFL. Who knows? Because every fan can be, be hopeful. And I'm not here to crush the hopes for well, excuse me, Miss Murray. I know you're not an analyst because it's like, it's Eagles or die with you. I have no fault, but I'm hosting, the weekly sports show, so I can't be coming up here and like, yeah, and the Cowboys, and like, yeah, by the way, the Eagles won. Like, I try to be as fair as possible. Just call it like I said, but you sitting where you sitting, just like, yeah, I don't give a damn about all that. It's Eagles or die. But anyway, let me get my sip of water. I agree with you, especially yeah, it's my favorite time of year because this when y'all true nature comes out. This is when y'all true nature comes out, and we get the real you. How you really feel about your fellow chatters and sports fans. Like, yeah, the real you comes out. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, but those are the five burning questions I have going into this upcoming season. It's going to be very interesting. As it always is with the NFL, and that's the beauty of it. That's why it's the number one sport in America. That's the beauty of the NFL. Everybody's got a shot. Everybody's got a chance. I don't think you can really realistic. Well, there's some teams realistically have no shot, but hey, to their fan base, they have a shot. So we'll talk about that as we like in the upcoming weeks. AFC, NFC. I'm not sure which order, but I will be doing that team by team, kind of break down what I'm looking at, and give you my picks. And while I'm doing that, maybe I can sway you from your Super Bowl pick. I think Ms. Murphy's already kind of locked into her Super Bowl pick. I know brother of a certain age, he's a Giants fan, but I'm for damn sure no, he ain't picking them for the Super Bowl. But who knows? He may surprise me. He may submit that as his Super Bowl pick. How I would like you guys to do it is give me your Super Bowl picks, AFC, NFC, then give me your winner. And we'll kind of go like that. And we'll see if anybody wins at the end of the season. We'll see. You will receive a prize. Moving on to some other sports news. WNBA had the All-Star weekend. This I think it wrapped up. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Had the NBA All-Star weekend. WNBA, and they've really kind of come out, use this opportunity with I guess, and I don't want to sound dismissive to the WNBA, but they used this opportunity, I guess, when the lights was brightest on them for their All-Star weekend. All the best players in town, all of the stars for their league in town, use this opportunity to silently protest about their pay. If you've been following the show, we've kind of dibble and dabble into the WNBA news in regards to player salaries. And I've had kind of mixed opinions on that. This is, I believe you should get paid what you're owed, first and foremost. And they, had shirts during WNBA practice, was saying, pay us like you owe us. And I have no problem with that. If you feel like your performance, especially in the world of sports, if you feel like you should be getting paid a certain amount, I have no problem with that. And if your players association is able to negotiate that with the league, more power to you. I'm not one to block your blessings. But when I said I have mixed opinions on it, when you hear players, WNBA players saying that, hey, we should be getting the same kind of money that NBA players is getting as far as the contract, respectfully, and I say this with all due respect, you can't be serious. You can't compare, and I think it's unfair, to use that as a comparison. You can't compare, the NBA model and to the WNBA model. You're talking about the NBA model. that is negotiating billion-dollar deals. Got money flowing in, have branched out into the streaming, all of that kind of stuff. Revenue is gone up. As far as the NBA is concerned, this is a business. Their business model makes money every year. This is not. They haven't been. Listen, the NBA. They don't bring in a number as no. And Miss Martin, listen. I think popularity has risen as far as the WNBA, but when we're talking about the money side of it, it just has not. This is the WNBA has traditionally, ended, has not made a return on the money. This is has operated at losses for a large portion of the since the league has been instituted. This is it's just not a we're not talking about $1 billion business, and I have no problem with you feeling like you should be getting paid, but this is not a situation where you're doing equal work for equal pay. This is we're operating on a whole nother level. Operating on a L Ducker, yeah. L Ducker. Wow, if you missed that clip of L Ducker, check that out. Check that out. But and this has kind of been the argument. And the reason why WNBA players have traditionally gone overseas, namely like Russia and Europe, Israeli leagues, and made their money overseas, where traditionally that's where the pay has been for women basketball players. It's traditionally, and it's still kind of is. Players play the WNBA season. Once the season over, they go to the real bag. Let's keep it a buck. Go play it in the international leagues, and it's not. Listen, even with the international leagues, it's not like they're over here making chump change, and they're getting over there, and it's like my WNBA contract, I'm making $500K a year, and that's real good money for the WNBA. And I'm going to play in Russia. Now I'm making $15 million. It's not like that, but I get it. You want a raise in your pay, but you got to be honest with yourself with the business model. You're talking about business has been better the past couple of years. With the influx of certain players, Caitlin Clark's, the Angel Reese's of the world, Paige. I hate to say her last name. I always mess it up. Boudicca. It's been some good players. The rise of the elevation of Aja Wilson, and for her profile, and how dominant she's been since she's been in the WNBA. Listen, it's getting better. But to think that you're at a level to where I need to be getting LeBron James type money, we're not there yet. And that's it has nothing to do with the talent level. It's nothing like that. It's just the business model of it. How can without, I mean, is the WNBA, do you and this is for fans of the WNBA, you need the support of the NBA, because without the support of the NBA being under the NBA umbrella, you're not getting the TV contracts. You're not necessarily going to be operating in some of these arenas and making some of the money as far as the ticket sales are concerned without being under the NBA model. And when traditionally you kind of ended up in the red each and every year, losing money operating this league. Pay us like you owe us. Like, what are you really asking for? Are you asking for $5 to $10 million contract? I'm just just on the low side. I mean, that's for the NBA. That's like the low side. Are you asking for $5-10 million contracts? I don't know. They give it to you. They give it to you. And I have no problem with it. I'm not trying to block your blessing, but I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're there yet. I think the business model, we'll see what it looks like in the next maybe year or two. You won't better pay, and And to be honest with you, as a cat, so to a casual fan, you know, if the WNBA ended tomorrow, like how many people would really care? I'm just being honest about it. You know, nothing against them. I want them to get what you rightfully deserve. But you know, to come out and be making statements, you know, we should be getting paid with the LeBrons and all. Like, nah, let's stop. Let's pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. Where we at with it? Okay, y'all guys know me. I like to get into my other stuff. I'm not there yet with it. Hold on. I'm looking for, where did I put it? No. Give me just a second. Okay, yeah. Those who've been kind of, you know, for my fringe boxing fans, you know, the Clarissa Shields and Layla Ali beef has been kind of going on for the past couple of years. Clarissa Shields, you don't know outside, you know, listen, she's not just Papu's new girlfriend. The world champion boxer, one of the best female boxers ever. Just can put it like that, one of the best female boxers ever, hell of a fighter. Has been going kind of verbally going back and forth with Layla Ali over the years about, you know, kind of like GOAT status and that kind of stuff. And Layla Ali kind of recently came out talking about, you know, she would be, you know, she would, you know, I think she was joking when she said it. Don't do it, Layla. Well, Ms. Murph, you know, of course, you know, if you put stuff out there to the universe, sometimes it comes back to you. But check this, where did I put it? Yeah, here we go. Check this recent I guess you can call it impromptu promo in regards, let me make sure I'm good over here. Okay, we put this on the big screen. Check out this impromptu promo by Clarissa Shields and her camp. This is very, very I thought it was kind of hilarious how they kind of did this, but you know, I'm all for watching big name fighters get into the ring. But check this out.
Clarissa Shields, there's rumors that you're gonna come back and fight. What you got? Everybody's talking about it. Or in the boxing circuit. The rumor that I heard was that I said that unless somebody had 15, 20 million, don't even call me about it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what we like. Layla, I'm here with my team. I got great news for you. We got the 15 million. Let's make a fight between me and you, the best versus the best, the greats versus the greats, the GOAT versus Muhammad Ali's daughter, Layla Ali. Let's make it happen. Mark, what else do we got?
Look, we have the two most prominent venues in this country, Cowboy Stadium, T-Mobile Arena, ready to go. They're extremely interested. We just have to finalize deals and dates with them. Most importantly, though, Ruben Branson, Win Records, thank you so much for supporting us, because that's what allows us to make this offer.
Thank you very much, Mark. Win Records' assignment was to bring forth $15 million. We have the $15 million for Layla. Let's make this fight happen.
That's what I'm talking about. So you saying we got the 15 million, we got the venue, and we got the dates. Now all we need is Layla Ali. Is he gonna make this fight happen or what? You asked for the 15 million and we delivered.
Let me come back over. Let me come back over here. Yeah, how old is Layla? How old is Layla Ali? She's got to be, you know. I don't want to age out. Oh, let me look it up. Yeah, how old she is. Oh, she ain't 50 yet. She ain't 50 yet. She be 50 in a couple of years. Okay. She ain't boxed in a minute. Yeah, she ain't boxed since 2007. But hold on, let me get back over here. I'll do it later. Yeah, she been out the ring for a minute. Listen, I'm not gonna put smut on the great Layla Ali's name, but what's going on the front? I'm not gonna put it. I found it funny just watching the clip. I can't even take this serious. Because what stuck out to me, and I guess this like the entertainment mind side of like, why is Papu sitting there like a hype man. Like he's got, hold on, let me scroll back. He's got like all the jury on. He's looking real side chickish. I didn't like it. Hold on, let me see if I can. I just play the shit again. It's just he just looks clownish. Hold on, let me put it back up. He just look like a clown to me doing this shit. Like really. Like really, like yeah, you know, I got all my jury. Like, dude, why are you even? What do you have to? You're not a manager. You the boyfriend, and you sit next to, like, why are you even here? This is supposed to be. I'm supposed to be trying to sell a fight. I'm trying to get Layla out. And listen, I think Claressa Shields, would, you know, at this point would beat the brakes off of a Layla. But hey, I'm all for a good spectacle of an event. I mean, if nothing else, it creates interest, it'll sell tickets. But this whole promo video, this looks very clownish. Like, yeah, we got the 15 million. They come out with a big ass cashier's check. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, but hey, I guess this is what you got to do to kind of sell. What's going on, Steph? That's what you got to do to kind of sell the fight. Like, okay. He should have been sitting on the lap. I mean, but hell, if Mike Tyson can get in there and make 20 million for pity patting around with Jake Paul, if Layla Ali, if you're really trying to get a bag, and these folks are willing to give you 15, 20 million to get in that, and I wouldn't even, you know, it's you're gonna get hit, but I would do it kind of like under exhibition rules. Like, you're not really competing for a championship. You haven't professionally boxed since 2007, but I'm all about getting the bag. Get it. Listen, challenge. Yeah, accept the challenge. We'll do 8 rounds. Eight rounds. And you know, championship obviously, you know, not on the line. But we just do 8 rounds, and you're gonna pay me like that. I'll be trying, if I'm serious about it. I'm trying to hook up with somebody to promote it. I'm trying to get on. Listen, I want to fight. I want this fight to be on Netflix. If Jake Paul and Mike Tyson can get on Netflix, I want to be on Netflix. You know, the Layla Ali name, Claressa Shields, with her record, and you know, the media swirl around her because her clown boyfriend sitting up here. Why you got the chains on, bro? Why you got the chains? It's just comical. Yeah, Pacquiao Pacquiao didn't look bad. He didn't look bad. I mean, you know, it is what it is. He, you know, cash a check, man. Cash a check. That's his role in the relation. Like, listen, he looks so weird. This, like, the whole promo just kind of looks weird to me, because like, yeah, we got the 15 million, and like this, it looks so like, I'm gonna play it again. It looks so staged. Like, you know, the people from, I guess, Win Records, like these guys look like some shady ass rap producers or something. Like, we play it again.
Claressa Shields, there's rumors that you're gonna come back and fight. What? Everybody's talking about it, or in the boxing circuit. The rumor that I heard was that I said that unless somebody had 15, 20 million, don't even call me about it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what we like. Layla, I'm here with my team. I got great news for you. We got the 15 million. Let's make a fight between me and you, the best versus the best, the greats versus the greats, the GOAT versus Muhammad Ali's daughter, Layla Ali. Let's make it happen. Mark, what else do we got?
Look, we have the 2 most prominent venues in this country.
Listen, this don't even look like. This is we're trying to sell this as some professional, like we doing some major shit. This dude's got like a lazy fucking polo shirt on. Hold on, let me go back. Like, it's this
the GOAT versus Muhammad Ali's
the
daughter, Layla
okay.
Ali. Let's make it happen. Mark,
Right. This is what role do these ladies play on the team? Really. I'm not in here with my promoter. I'm not in here with my boxing coach. I got Bay next to me. Oh, listen. If Layla doesn't need the money, she should do it. Listen, Miss Merv, if you're gonna be clown enough and you're gonna go out there and find me 15, 20 million. Listen, I was like, hey, let's get some more money behind this. We'll do a 8-round exhibition. I mean, it doesn't listen. If Clarissa goes out there and beats the hell out of her, it's gonna be Clarissa Shields beat up on a damn near 50-year-old woman. It's not gonna affect Layla's legacy. It's like, hey, you got a bag. Like, no one looks at Mike Tyson any different after losing to quote unquote Jake Paul. Like, your legacy is what your legacy is. Like, oh yeah, he was 60 years old. Yeah, what do you expect? The Layla Ali goes out there and get knocked down in the first round. What do you expect? But this is goofy. And I don't see Clarissa's gonna go out there trying to knock her head off. But this is like this promo video, like I'm watching it. I'm like, this don't even look like some. I'm supposed to take this serious. But play it again.
What else do we got?
Look at him. Like, he look. This is so bad.
We have the two most prominent venues in this country: Cowboy Stadium, T-Mobile Arena, ready to go. They're extremely interested. We just have to finalize deals and dates with them. Most importantly, though, Ruben Branson, Win Records, thank you so much for supporting us, because that's what allows us to make this offer.
Why you got shades on inside and it's supposed to be a serious meeting, brother? Like, what? Oh, you got like the NWA type class. I'm not supposed to take this serious, am I? I'm not supposed to take this serious. Look at this. Anybody heard of Win Records? Let me look up Win Records. I've never even heard of these folks. Win Records. Who are these people? Let me look it up. Win Records. Who are these people? Okay, they are a promotion company. Okay. Let's do a little research here. I'm sorry, I'm deviating here. Welcome to the world of Win. Oh Jesus. Oh man, this look like some low budget type shit here. I'm looking at some of the stuff that they promote. I mean, they do promote. This look like some club promotion type. What is this? Hold on, I'll put it up on the screen, y'all. Let me take this down. Let me take this down. They work for Top Dog Law. Listen, you have to see this. I'm on their website. I'm supposed to, let's see, am I up on the screen here? Let me put this on the big screen real quick. And of course, we're gonna get into we're gonna kind of get into the rest of the show. But like, look at this, like this like club flyers, club promotion type stuff, like DeVito, Kings of the West, what like you advertising Sexy Red in concert. What the hell is this? Oh man, this can't be like this is it. Let's dive a little bit more. Okay, what's the talent? Well, we got King Los. I know who that is. Okay, these are your recording artists. Okay. Let's go here. What's about this? These are the people that she was doing business with. Jesus Christ, man. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to them. But I can't take this serious. I can't take this. I can't take these people serious. We got the 15 million. That look like a cashier's check. Oh God. But anyway. Oh God. Get my behind back on. Yeah, you see Jerry. You know, still Cowboys for life around here. I don't know none of the folks. I know, listen, beautiful. I know King Los, but I know him from more the battle rap scene, not for, you know, dropping records. Free promo for that record. Listen, Brother Absurde, I've never heard of these people. Win records, and it reminds me of when I saw the dude with the shades. I'm about to date myself here. It reminded me of what was it? What was that? Which one was it? Dre Day. If for those who remember the Chronic, when Dre was rolling out the Chronic for Dre Day, Nothing But a G thing. You remember they had like Sleazy E. He had the shades on. Like that's what dude looked like. He looked like Sleazy E from those videos. If you're old enough to remember, you know what I'm talking about. They got that Rockefeller startup money. Listen, I can't. But listen, if they're able to make this fight, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna lock in. I'm gonna watch, and I'm gonna be entertained by it. Listen, it'll be a spectacle. Listen, it won't be a serious fight. It won't be a serious fight. You know, and nothing against Layla Ali, but you know, you're about 50 minutes later, and you haven't competed. And I'm just gonna say this, not to say that she's not in shape. But you haven't competed since 2007. That's about 20 years. You know, to train, you know, it's one thing to be like, I'm in shape, but it's another thing to be training for, especially for boxing. It's another thing to be in fighting shape and real serious training shape. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, he gave me that Sleazy E vibes, and you know, we got the two biggest venues, AT&T Stadium and T-Mobile Arena. Like this looks so shady. It looks so shady. You got Papu sitting there, and then you talking about this is my team. Then you got the young ladies sitting there like, what are they for a bottle of water? Brother of Sundays, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, bro. And man, a bud alone. You remember everybody from the West Coast was wearing them kind of shades back in the day. Everybody was. She needs at least 6. Listen, Miss Merv, for exhibition, for a spectacle, I would say give her a year to where you're at least in respectable shape. Listen, Clarissa's gonna go out there and try to punish her. Layla's job is going to make it look respectable, and not get completely embarrassed. But who will put their money on Layla Ali in that fight? We're not talking about both are in their primes. Like Layla Ali, she had her time, and this is Clarissa Shields' time. But listen, this is a chance. I'm advocating for it. It is a chance for both ladies to really make a bag. One thing we have learned, especially I would say in the Jake Paul era, if you can make it a spectacle. Listen, you had Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, that bullshit fight, but everybody that had Netflix was watching that shit. Listen, people love to see a spectacle. I don't think anybody would look at it as a serious boxing event, but everybody loves a spectacle. I work for you, Sleazy E. Listen, brother of certain age. Them were the days, boy, when videos meant something to your record sales. But anyway, close that out. We're gonna get into the more I was gonna say serious side of the show, but me, I like to talk about my favorite reality show, which is Trump administration. It has been yet another interesting week in regards to the Trump administration. Listen, last week, the call was for the Epstein files. It's still the call for the Epstein files. But Trump and his administration do what they normally do. They try to deflect and deflect and distract. And I say people for the most part, some people are buying it. Listen, I hate to say it, man. Some people are stupid. Some people are really buying it. Now they got some of these folks out here chasing Obama on some conspiracy type stuff. Listen, Republicans love conspiracy. If you can give them a conspiracy to replace the one that they're currently trying to get to the bottom of, they love it. Just send them on a wild goose chase. This, they'll chase the rabbit. But they've come out and tried to implicate that Obama and his administration were somehow involved in the 26, and so this is like 2016 election corruption, even though it's already been kind of proven that Russia was involved and trying to tamper with the 2016 election. Trump and his administration, the divide, to distract, and deflect, and this is, be kind of his MO. Since he's gotten back into office, is to kind of overwhelm the senses of America to where, you're so focused in on this, and you're missing, what's really kind of going on. Like, not enough news was made about the funding for Israel's golden was it Iron Dome they call it over there. The funding will continue in regards to that, but that didn't make the news because we're chasing the Epstein stuff, and Epstein, is a hot topic, and Democrats are really pressing on it. The media is really kind of pressing on it. Trump has himself filed a lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal in regards to some damaging information. And listen, I don't understand this part from him. It's very clear. You and Epstein were not passing acquaintances. You were not. You were not just, I kind of knew him because he was in the neighborhood kind of stuff. Like, no, it's very clear that you guys had some kind of relationship. But hey, you and your administration keep trying to downplay it and whatnot, and it's not going over well in MAGA Nation more so than anything. MAGA Nation is, the talking heads are really not feeling this. It's, you instructing Pam Bondi to release the grand jury information in regards to Epstein. That's just a part of it. It's been found out. It's been a lot of stuff going on with this Epstein stuff. A lot of stuff been kind of leaking out, dropping out to the media. You got the FBI scrubbing the Epstein stuff. But let me this is how let me play this clip real quick. I mean, this is, need to cue it up. I got a couple clips for you. This how stupid, I hate to say that word, but it is what it is. This how stupid some people are in regards to this whole situation. Like, if I put a talking head behind it, you people will go for it and buy a hook, line, and sinker. Let me put this over here. All right, check this out. All right, let's go.
Was convicted during the Biden administration. Not one time did Hakeem Jeffrey call for any exposition of what the Biden Justice Department knew. He doesn't care about the truth. He doesn't care about the people.
Hold on. Bill.
This is what
hold on.
he does.
Hold on, Bill. Hold on. You said Epstein was convicted during the Biden administration. Epstein committed during the Trump administration.
Yeah, so am I wrong on that?
He was arrested in 2019, and he committed in 2019. He died August 10th of 2019. So the Biden administration was not involved in a conviction or a trial of him. They were of Elaine Maxwell.
Okay. But he was arrested and indicted under Merrick Garland.
No, under Trump.
Who had all
under
of the
Trump.
information.
Epstein was arrested, indicted under Trump in 2019. Trump was president. Merrick Garland was not the attorney general.
Okay.
All right, we back over here. Ms. Murph, listen, it's when you just getting, and these people are, he's talking here, they're not vetting the information. Listen, Bill O'Reilly really thought he was saying something that, we want to throw you off the trail. We give you Biden, we give you Obama, we give you Hillary Clinton. Yeah, he was supposed to all the people. He was supposed to expose all of that. That was part of his, one of his campaign kind of promises. Like, we're going to expose the deep state and all this. But when you got talking heads like this, and it was some idiot that bought that hook, line, and sinker. And if the guy that was hosting that show and was interviewing Bill O'Reilly would have just let him go with it and just nodded his head, they'd have took it as fact and gospel. They would have took it as fact and gospel. This storyline is not going anywhere. you know, I'm of the opinion of this. It shouldn't go anywhere. If you can't tell me it's nothing to see here, when allegedly he unalived himself in the cell, you can't tell me it's nothing going on here when you currently have someone. I mean, brother, of a certain day, listen, cracked up is the word. Like, you getting caught in real time. But you have your talking points in your head. You have your instructions. And listen, if you don't think that the administration, and not just the Trump administration, but any administration, don't have their talking points sent out to some of these news stations and whatnot, you're on the spectrum. I'm just gonna say that. You're on the spectrum. You are definitely on the spectrum. But are we surprised? No. I mean, but you can't back to this. But you can't tell me it's nothing going on when you have Maxwell alleged, is for lack of better terms, is Cody, allegedly doing she's doing 20 years in prison, and tell me it's nothing to see here. I think with most I would say with most Americans, it's like this, whatever's in there is in there. And if you were part of this child exploitation ring, this PDF ring, fuck damaging your name. If you were part of it, you were part of it. I mean, it is kind of is what it is. And let the facts be the facts. It was obviously something that went on. He was tried, he was convicted. His co-D was tried and convicted. So, to have, think the general public is not, you can't tell me someone's in prison and tell me nothing happened. I mean, that doesn't make logical sense in any form of imagination. But listen, I'm let it keep playing out. And you're starting to see some of these Republicans, kind of have found I would say found a heart, and this is a guy who I thought would, really be on the bandwagon of, getting at Trump on a more personal level. Let me put this up real quick. Former Vice President Mike Pence, you gotta
President Trump.
He's been very active lately, and not rightfully so. Rightfully so. In my opinion, should be a lot more active. I mean, because you have an opportunity to retake your party back, but that's neither here nor there. Check this out real quick.
Said that Jeffrey Epstein matter is a hoax. Last week, his Justice Department said there were more than 1,000 victims of Jeffrey Epstein. Last summer, Trump said he was open to declassifying all the relevant files and the Epstein client list, and that his suicide looked suspicious. How can all those things be true and it be a hoax? I don't understand where things stand with all this.
I think the time has come for the administration to release all of the files regarding Jeffrey Epstein's investigation and prosecution. It's important that we protect the names of the victims. They should be excluded from any disclosure. But whether or not the facts justify charges, I think that anyone who participated or was associated with this despicable man ought to be held up to public scrutiny.
One of the most aggressive investigative reporters in our country, Julie K. Brown, was on my show last night, and she said when the Justice Department last week said 1,000 victims, she said that was a higher number than she was familiar with, and indicated to her that there have to be accomplices that some of the victims have named that worked with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And she said, shouldn't there be some inquiry into whether or not those people should be exposed to criminal prosecution?
Well,
do you agree with that?
I just think we ought to get the facts to the American people. I mean, I've always believed in transparency.
And when the president says it's all a hoax, what is he talking about?
Well, Jeffrey Epstein's prosecution began during the Bush administration, continued.
He's blaming it on Democrats.
The Obama years.
It's not a hoax.
I know of no reason why this administration, once the victims' names are protected, should not release all the files on Jeffrey Epstein.
All right, come back over here, close this out, put myself back up. Ooh, ooh. You don't have to fly out of the head anymore. If you know, you know. But yeah, this, you know, it's a hoax. It's been reported. They're scrubbing. You know, the FBI has set up a team to scrub the files of Trump's. Listen, it's not getting any better. At this point, you might as well release something. Telling folks it's a hoax made by the Democrats. It's a hoax. Like, dude, I don't know how many people are buying it, and too many butters will be exposed. Listen, and Miss Murph, I think the general public, in general, whether you're Democrat or Republican, MAGA Nation or whatever, you don't really care about who's exposed. Like, if you were part of it, you were part of it. It is what it is, you know. And if you were an accomplice, you know, it's one thing to be like, yo, I was at a you know, a Diddy party, but I didn't stay for the oil, you know, birthday party portion of it. I just, you know, I was invited to a party for whatever. If you weren't involved, then you shouldn't, you know, shouldn't be concerned about it. But if you was on some other stuff and you was participating in that kind of PDF stuff, I mean, it is what it is. Your reputation, you know, it is, you know, it is what it is. Be damned, like whatever. You can't tell me it's nothing to. You can't tell me it's nothing to see here. It's not. Miss. He got convicted. He didn't get convicted on a hoax. His Cody didn't get convicted on a hoax. You're not. You know, if it was a hoax, you'd have put it all out there. This is all fabricated by. You know, like he does. It was fabricated by Obama and Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. But you know, it's not getting any better. It's causing him to lose some political ground in regards to his buddies, you know, MAGA Nation. But it's all a ploy to distract from what's really kind of going on. You mean, pay attention to what's going on in some of these you know, these Senate hearings and these House hearings. Trump is like he's been since he's gotten in. He's the noise. He's like it's like a magician. You know, he's telling you, you know, watch the right, you know, watch the right hand. This is where the magic is happening, and the magic is happening at the back of the theater. And I keep it. He's holding their attention, and keeping you focused on him, and a lot of stuff is going on around. Like Walmart came. This is crazy. Some people always believe they're above a lot. Yeah, they do defraud. But you know, the deep. Listen, I believe the deep. I'm not really a big conspiracy theorist guy, but I do believe the deep state is real. Like, you can't tell me, you know, this kind of stuff goes on that nobody knows about it. No one's not protecting, and whatnot. You can't tell me that doesn't happen. You know, look at how much media has changed since Trump has got back in office. It's been open season. You know, you have what's it, Stephen Colbert. His show gets canceled. And they, you know, CBS says it's for financial reasons. You know, I don't see how, but you know, when you're speaking out against that administration, and he's shown, you know, I'm willing to lay the heavy hand of the government on you to silence you and keep you from really, you know, putting stuff out there that I don't like. You know, this is the thing about it was revealed he has a medical condition, you know, and it was they try to play it off, you know, the administration tried to play it off like it was something that just recently happened in like the last week or so, as far as like the swollen ankles and the some issues with his veins. Like, you know, you have people that, you know, from the medical field, like, no, you know, that dude's in stage 3, so they been due. It's about controlling the narrative. it's about controlling the narrative. It's about, you know, making sure that, you know, you and your buddies are able to still operate in the means that they're able to operate. This politics, I've always said this. You know, what type of decisions and laws are being slid through? Listen, Miss Burber, that's the ploy, you know, like, and I don't even think he's really that. You know, I don't think he's that intelligent enough to know that, you know, this is how you do it. It's a reality show. That's why I call it. Listen, he wakes up, you know, he, you know, showers and all of that kind of stuff. He puts, let's see, he gets his White House makeup artist, and it's time, lights, camera, action. It's a show. To him, it's a show. It is a complete, and that's why I say this is reality TV. He wakes up and it's a show. I'm not taking. Hey, listen, he's like every other. Well, I'm gonna say every other, but majority of Americans, when you wake up in the morning, first thing you do, you're on your social media. First thing he does when he wakes up, he's on Truth Social, giving you my thoughts for the day, what I'm upset about. I'm giving you my unfiltered. These are not White House edited. This is not statements, released by the press secretary. I'm giving you my get it done. His unhinged. It is a show. It is a show, and he listen. He loves it. He thinks he's on the master level of The Apprentice. Like that's how he views it. You're asking me the thing. It's we're doing great things, and everything is fine, and I'm no president has ever done what I've done. Listen, he really, I think it was a recent True Social post. He really said he's done more in the past 6 months than some. He's done more in the past 6 months than been done in the last 100 years. Huh? It is a show. It is a show, and we listen. Americans, we are unwilling participants. For a lot of us, unwilling participants in this show. But you pay attention. It's entertaining. It's weird. Listen, all of that, but pay attention. Pay attention to what's really going on. As far as laws and that kind of stuff getting passed. Like it's a lot of stuff that, like Walmart going up on their prices on certain items. Pay attention to that kind of stuff. Oh, tariffs is real. Tariffs are real, people, and they've already started kind of passing that buck on to you. Pay attention. But of course, it's going to be the Donald Trump show. I'm gonna give you something to look at and kind of keep you distracted from what's really going on. Like I don't think a lot of enough attention is being put in the fact that ICE, with the budget, going in with the quote unquote big beautiful bill, what ICE stands, talking about exponentially more money put behind that program. And if you look at even some of the stuff that's coming out about Alligator Alcatraz, like what they're willing to pay people to be part of that. Listen. All of this is it's a lot going on. We want to get rid of PBS and NPR. Why? Because they're not singing a good gospel of MAGA. But keep the attention. Trump knows as much. He likes the attention, and they don't mind giving it to him while they kind of get their backroom deals done and all that kind of stuff. But speaking of immigration, it was another story, and we'll kind of wrap up, and I get to Beautiful's favorite part of the show, the pulpit. It was, ICE director Tom Homan. I'm gonna make sure I say his name right. Tom Homan kind of came out and inadvertently said what a lot of people already kind of know. ICE's procedure. I figured you drop back down. ICE's procedures have been for lack of a better term, racial profiling. He kind of came out and said, if you kind of look like somebody we looking for, let's keep it a buck, you look Latino, we're probably gonna lock you up. Well, it was a recent incident that happened where you heard reports of a U.S. citizens, U.S. citizens being detained by ICE and that kind of stuff. But here's a more a real clear example of what a police state kind of looks like in kind of real time. Give me a minute. Let me clip it up. All right, are we queued up? Check this out, y'all.
Will you first tell me just what it was like the moment when you realized what was happening at this farm? You work for a third-party contractor, you're security guard at this farm, And just describe, like, did you realize when all these folks roll up that was ICE?
My first thoughts were like, just like in shock. I was in disbelief that all this was happen. Honestly, I thought it wouldn't be a problem to go to work as long as I did nothing wrong, as long as I identified myself, who I was. And clearly it didn't matter if I was a citizen or if I was a veteran or if I identified who I was at all. It didn't matter to them.
Tell me about the moment when you're in your car amongst this chaos, when you actually get apprehended by ICE, and what you said to them.
When I was getting apprehended, then they were banging on my window to leave or to get out. There was multiple officers telling me to do different things. Some were telling me to keep reversing. Some were banging on my windshield to get out. And I was trying to tell them, like, I'm leaving, like, I'll get out of here. Like, I don't want any problems. I'm trying to reverse. I can't breathe because of the tear gas in my car. I can't reverse. I can't continue to reverse while there's protesters behind me. And you guys are banging on my window and just surrounding my car. And they didn't care. They continued to bang. They ignored everything I said. And they broke my window and they dragged me out.
Did you tell them you're a citizen?
I did. That was the first thing I mentioned when I pulled up to where they were all lined up. I got out my car and that was the first thing I let them know was I'm a citizen. I'm just trying to go to work. I'm just trying to get to work.
Did you tell them you were a veteran?
I did. I also let them know that I was a veteran and I wasn't doing anything wrong, that I'm just trying to get to work. I'm not trying to protest them. I'm not trying to fight them. I'm just a man trying to get to work.
All right, we back over here. Remove. I'm back. Yeah, I told you. You better walk around with your papers on you. Better walk around with your papers on you. And this is not the only story that's out there about American citizens being detained by ICE. You know, they're snatching them up, and if they can get your ass out of the country. It was another story that I read where an elderly man who's been was going to get a new green card because the green card had expired. He had been in America for 40 years. ICE called his ass at the courthouse, shipped his ass off to fucking Guatemala, which he is not from. And luckily the family was able to locate him after he was deported. But listen, it's snatch and grab, man. Snatch and grab. Better walk around with your papers on you. Better walk around with your papers, because if they say, it ain't racial profiling. Look, dude. ICE ain't got no list of goddamn nobodies. ICE saying you look like an immigrant, we gonna snatch you. Well, listen, they're not working off of a list. They really not. I'm gonna tell you, listen. I'm gonna tell you, they're not working off a list. We know where to find you. We know where you hang. We know where you're on the farms. We know you at the Home Depots. We'll get you that way. We're just gonna listen. We'll assume you're an immigrant until further notice. Damn, do the papers even work? Listen, beautiful. It don't even it looked like, and with the money that's about to be pumped into ICE due to the big beautiful bill, so pay attention to the money moves. The money that's gonna be pumped in ICE, listen, they're gonna be it's gonna be Gestapo state. They're gonna be just running up on folks. You look like whatever, and listen, we ain't gotta identify ourselves. We ain't gotta identify you. We can't, we don't even have to verify who you're an immigrant. You look like an immigrant. You've seen too many of these stories, and I don't think the media has really put enough emphasis on it. Like I don't think most people have. If you're an immigrant, you're here illegally, you get caught by ICE. It kind of is what it is. But just randomly just running up on people, you're gonna see a lot more of that. You're gonna see a lot more of that just running up on people. You're not identifying yourself. You're not even identifying who you're looking for. We We got a warrant for who? Do you have a description of the person? Like, neither here nor there. But the papers, I mean, you better have something on you, something. Even that, you know, it doesn't necessarily work because you know we're just doing snatch and grab. We're just doing snatch and grab, and they're emboldened by their, you know, the administration. They're emboldened by, you know, those that think this, you know, it's the right thing to do. Listen, if you're here illegally, you're here illegally, and you know you get deported, you get deported. It kind of is what it is. That's the chance you take when you come over. But you know, you American citizens, Latinos, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Because you know they don't care. You know if you're a citizen or not. Like you fit the description. You look like an immigrant. You seem like an immigrant. You got a Spanish twang to your voice. Yeah, your accent ain't American. We're gonna get your ass. I mean, can you imagine, like, you know, I'm just a Latino randomly just going to Home Depot to pick up some stuff for my house. And I'm an American citizen, and then ICE swarms in thinking I'm, you know, an immigrant, and you snatching me off the street. It's no you're calling your family, calling your lawyer. No, we're snatching you up, and your ass is up in alligator Alcatraz. Like, can you imagine that? But anyway, let me get ready to close out the show. I'm gonna say that one for Tuesday's show. I'm gonna say that for Tuesday's show. All right, so let me get the beautiful's favorite part of the show, the pulpit. The pulpit part of the show. I need to develop me a little something for this part of the show. Do I got anything that can play? No, I don't. Oh, I could play. No. Oh, you know, I'll play this before I do my. I'm gonna try something here. This work with me, y'all. Work with me. I'm just trying some random stuff. Okay. Yeah, this me messing around. But yeah, I'm gonna come up with something for the pulpit part of the show. I was recently it was a quote I saw on I saw a quote on Facebook, and it really kind of stuck out to me, and I wanted to kind of share that quote. It was a quote from Deion Sanders. And let me kind of get into it here. The quote, I want to read it, you know, verbatim. And the quote is, "Don't let my confidence offend your insecurity." Too often, sometimes we feel like we have to turn down us to make others feel comfortable. And you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to tone down you. Because it offends their insecurities. Like if you're a dope person, be a dope person. If you are authentically you, continue to be authentically you. Damn what they say, damn how it makes them feel. I can't, you know, change who I am to make you feel better. I refuse to change who I am to make you feel better about yourself. You know, we are what we are. I am who I am, and if that offends you, take your time, brother. If me being me offends you, fuck you. And that makes you feel insecure about yourself, because you know, listen, a hater ain't nothing but a you know a undercover fan, and that's what a hater is. Like, a hater will watch you. A hater will critique you. A hater will even try to emulate you. But at the same, you know, and say it, use it under disguise. Like, I don't like him so much. I want to be like him. I want to talk like him. They're undercover fan. But don't let my confidence offend your insecurity. Like when you are comfortable in yourself, when you are comfortable with who you are, damn trying to turn it down to make someone else feel better because they don't feel right about themselves. They now listen. It's some come on now, listen. It is some people that wake up and look in the mirror every morning and hate the motherfucker that's looking back at them. But at the end of the day, that's not my problem. That is something with you. It's called self-esteem, motherfucker. Esteem of your motherfucking self. I will not turn down me to make you feel better about you. Now, how does that work? Hey, Divine. Hey, Divine. Make sure you tune in Tuesday, Divine. But don't let my confidence offend your insecurity. Don't let it. When you get to the point in life, and it's a light bulb moment for a lot of people. And some people, some people, the light bulb never goes off. When you get to the point in life when you are comfortable each and every day with the person that you see in the mirror, you're happy with what you see, and you excited about, hey, let me be better tomorrow, do the best I can to be better today, and you happy with what you see, and you can accept your reflection for what it is. Like, this is me in all of my glory and all of my splendor. That is a light bulb moment. And some people have been living in the dark for so long that the light bulb ain't went off. The light bulb don't bust. The light bulb don't work. In some situations, the goddamn the light switch don't even work. Let that marinate. But don't let my confidence offend your insecurity. Don't let it. Don't let my confidence offend your insecurity. You don't like what you see, do better. Do something different. You don't like that, you overweight and sloppy. Do something about it. Get in the gym, go work out, do some push-ups, do something. Do something until you happy with what you see in the mirror. And then once you reach that point, do more, get better. I'm just saying. Don't let my confidence offend your insecurity. Listen, that hits home on so, like, why should I have to turn? And it calls me the question, like, why should you have to? And why should you have to turn down your personality, who you are, what you have become, what you have strove to be, what you have worked for? And I'm just talking about overall, mentally, physically, spiritually. Why should I have to turn? Why should I feel like this? If I got to do why am I blocking God, God's blessing for me? I am blessed and highly favored. Regardless of what you may think. Well, he ain't got this and he ain't got, okay, whatever. I go to sleep well at night. I wake up with a smile on my face. But don't let my confidence offend your insecurity. Do something, do better, do more. For those who are secure in yourselves and have the confidence to step out into it, damn them. Let them. You feel less than. That's not my problem. That's a keyword being self-esteem problem. That's not my problem. It's not my situation. It's not my issue. I can't fix how you feel about you, simple bitch. I can't. And too often we waste energy trying to make people feel more than what you really are. Hell, if you don't feel like you the shit, I can't make you feel like you the shit. I can't. It don't matter what I say to you. It don't matter how I pump you up and praise you and hope, heap false praise on you and false affirmations. If you don't feel like that about yourself, I can't help that. That's your own insecurity. That's your own self-esteem. But you know, I'm gonna keep shining. So that is the word for the day. Beautiful. That is the word for the. Don't let my confidence offend your insecurity. But anyway, a little bit of housekeeping before we get up out of here. Thank you guys for joining me. As y'all normally do. I'm not entertaining any people, especially where I feel like, listen, Miss Murph, listen. And I'm reading that, and you know, the word that sticks out in that phrase is authentic. Like, if you can't be you to the best of your ability, or you can't function the way that you want to function, you just can't be you. And I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. And that comes with family, friends, all of that. I'm good. When the energy is it ain't right, and I feel like I can't be me, when I have to turn down my confidence to, you know, accommodate for your insecurity. I'm good. I am good. And see, I'm not going to get into it. And that's part of the confidence part of it. When you good and you mean it, I'm good. The insecurity in others, you know, he can't be. Well, I am. This is 2025 is the era, is the year of touching grass. Touching grass. And you've been listening to the show any amount of time. I have really kind of pushed that, like, touch grass, you know, enjoy life. Like, listen, enjoy life for what it's worth. And however you choose to enjoy it, you know, whatever. But touch grass. There's so much going on outside. Take a day trip somewhere. Do something. Go to a movie. And I will be going to see Fantastic Four this coming weekend. Yeah, we're going to see Fantastic Four this coming weekend. You know, I'm trying to get translations for Demons. Listen, touching grass and feeling the sun, man. Beautiful, Miss Murph. Like, but see, you know, some people they don't know how. But it's not my job to teach you. Some people don't know that. Listen, touching grass, it's a foreign concept to them. Feeling the sun, that's a foreign. Some people don't go outside. Some people don't go outside. It's you know, for some people it's scary outside. Don't let my confidence offend your insecurity. Damn. Listen, it's scary outside for some people. You get a whiff of fresh air. Oh shit. What am I supposed to do with this? You know, and this you know, y'all know, on occasion I like to talk about the misses. But you know, sometimes, like, when we go out, you know, we travel and stuff, and she's like, you know, why you don't take pictures and post, like, for what? I say, I'm enjoying the moment. This is part of me touching grass. Like, I'm enjoying the moment. I'm feeling the sun. I'm not into, you know, she's you know, I'm not gonna say all women, but she's into that, taking pictures and stuff. But I'm like, I'm good. I'm enjoying the moment. I'm feeling the sun. I'm touching the grass. I'm happy where I'm at, and I'm good. You know, those that you know, like the, you know, and I'm not gonna say everyone that does it. Because some people do it for fun, but you know, sometimes you gotta look deeper into it. When people are, you know, constantly, you know, posting and stuff like that, it's a lot of insecurity showing. It's a lot of insecurity showing. A lot of insecurity showing. But listen, it's not my job. Don't let my confidence offend your insecurity. That's something you got to work on. Oh boy. Yeah, I really need to come up with a real intro for this portion of the show. I really need to. The pool. Beautiful has a segment on the show, the pool pit. Not really like getting into the cause it's. I mean, when I read that, I actually listened to the actual quote from Dion. You can just see the demeanor, the calmness and the confidence when he said it. Like, I'm not just saying this for clickbait. Like, I really mean this. When you are confident in yourself, when your self-esteem is where it's supposed to be, you good. Some people need, they need work to get there. But then again, the light bulb will never go off. Ain't nothing worse than an old fool. Let me get my ass up out of here. Make sure y'all tune in Tuesday. For those that don't know, if you're trying to find out, let me know. Make sure you tune in Tuesday. We will be getting to some, we're gonna have some more fun. We're gonna have some more fun on O2. And don't mistake my confidence as Eric. But it's not, listen, it's not even arrogance. It's not even arrogance. They mistake your confidence, it's because you offend their insecurity. When you listen, and you can tell when you're around certain people, you interact with certain people, in whatever form that is. You can tell the people that are comfortable in their own skin. Like, some people get dressed up when they wake up, and let that marinate and sizzle in your spirit. Some people get dressed up when they wake up. I need to write that down. I said the word there. Some people get dressed up when they wake up, and if I'm not going to, if you ain't catching what I'm putting down, then I don't know what to tell you. Some people get dressed up when they wake up. Confidence and security are the words for the night. Shh, beautiful. Not just a night. That's a daily. Well, I mean, let that last part. And you guys know I like to close out the show with the hate what's in you because it ain't in them. Listen, beautiful. Like, some people, listen, and I'm gonna say it again for emphasis, because just in case, some people get dressed up when they wake up. Some people got to put on a costume. Some people wake up naturally them, but some people got to get dressed up. But anyway, it said Tuesday. Make sure y'all tune in for that. Definitely gonna have some fun with that. For my Straw Hat crew, listen, I know last week I said I was gonna break down the latest, but we will be doing the latest 2 chapters. One Piece review. And make sure y'all tune in for that. Clown shoes and all. Oh man, the entendres and double entendres. Listen, I might have to write that down and put that somewhere. Some people got it, they get dressed up when they wake up. But anyway, yeah, let's get on out of here, man. Get on out of here before I get in trouble. End y'all off with the phrase page. Hey, remember, hate what's in you because it's not in them. The phrase to praise the ends the shows around here. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but every time you learn. And I'm out.